Howdy there, folks. My name is Pennon87, and perhaps you've reached this video because you've either come across it randomly and looking at World of Warships videos, or you've searched something related to the Bismarck or Tirpitz class of ship. Tirpitz was recently added to the game, and a lot of people are having a hard time figuring out how to Citadel this ship. And I promise you the ship is not bugged, and I promise you the ship, at least in its current state, on about September 20th of 2015, is working in the way it is actually designed. So let's just take a quick overview of Tirpitz. She has 4 turrets. She has 8 guns. They're 15-inch, but that might seem small for a Tier 8 ship. They're high-velocity 15-inch guns, which puts them more along the lines of a 16-inch cell. This was made in compromise to what the Germans really wanted to put on this ship, which were 16-inch guns, but they just didn't have those ready at the time. 15-inch guns, I believe, are the largest guns that Germans ever mounted on a capital ship. Tirpitz also has a surprise in store for a lot of people that get a little bit too close to her, and that is torpedoes. 4 torpedo tubes on each side. They travel up to 6 kilometers, and they pack a punch. While Tirpitz AA armor is weak, she has a very competent secondary, coupled with torpedoes, and the fact that her turrets are probably some of the fastest turning in the game, and her guns are also the fastest reloading in the game for any battleship. Any ship that gets close enough to Tirpitz or Bismarck is going to find themselves in a world of hurt. But that leaves the question is, why can't I Citadel this thing? Now, I promise you, it's not a troll ship, and it's not bugged. So this is what the armor layout of Tirpitz looks like. It's very unique in the game. A lot of the battleships that have so far been in the game are battleships that were either the Japanese battleships or the American battleships. And those battleships were, for the American sake, was designed for 2 oceans, and the Japanese were specifically designed for the Pacific. They usually have armor belts that are angled along here, and it's just a single main belt. But the Tirpitz has a surprise in store. She has a turtleback secondary armor belt, which is akin more like on protected cruisers, something you might find on St. Louis, which is another ship that is also notoriously hard to Citadel. So let's see how this armor is laid out. You've got a 320mm main plate, and it runs 70% of the ship. And then you've got this 110mm turtleback side plate in addition to the top plate here to protect and ensure greater amounts of ricochets. In addition to that, you've got the 145mm plate that runs all the way up to the deck. In most ships, it's 320, it stops here, and then this goes to like 30mm. Not so on Tirpitz. Below the 320, you've got the 170, and below that, you've just got torpedo bilge. This is a pretty unique ship in terms of lateral protection, which is essentially fire from sort of along this sort of axis here. Tirpitz has 480mm of armor protection. She is the most laterally protected ship in the game. Not even Yamato is going to Citadel this ship at close range. We're talking 4 kilometers. It's not going to happen. Just because Tirpitz, she has a Citadel here that is small in comparison to the ship. Tirpitz is actually very wide. She's actually 3 meters wider than the Iowa class ship, which means she can't go through the Panama Canal. And her Citadel, or at least what Wargaming calls Citadel, is almost entirely below the waterline. Very hard not to crack. So what happens when you're shooting at the ship at close range? Well, if you somehow do manage to get through the 320mm of armor, more than likely you're going to ricochet off the top of the turtleback and you're going to explode here. It's going to be a penetration. It's going to be a high damage. Not going to be a Citadel. And if you get there, if you shoot lower, you're probably going to be stopped by the 110mm plate. If you somehow get back past there, you've got another 45mm plate to stop you there. So you're just not getting through there. That's the 480mm of maximum armor capability, and it's just not happening. So what do you have to do? Well, Tirpitz has very, very weak plunging fire protection. She has the weakest plunging fire protection in the game, if you don't count these high armor sides. That's sort of the but there, is that you really have to get high, or you have to shoot above the 320mm deck. That's also the other thing. But this shot here is going to come from an Iowa or a Yamato. It's not going to come from anything else, I don't think. And this is also another, you're going to have a battleship with a high trajectory arc to get through here. And these are your shots that are going to Citadel. And they're just going to be few and far between, and it's just really, really, really hard to do. Because plunging fire Citadels in World of Warships, because of the inaccuracy at long range and the RNG nature of things, is just, it's not easy to do. So how do you beat Tirpitz? Well, one does not simply engage a Tirpitz at close range, is basically the rule of thumb here going forward. As long as you stay out of Tirpitz's primary range, where the lateral armor belt gives it the most protection, and the inaccuracy of its 15-inch guns don't really matter all that much, you're going to be good to go. And particularly if you don't get within, if you're stupid enough to get within 6 kilometers of the thing, to the point where Tirpitz can torpedo you, because the torpedoes have a very wide fire arc, basically almost as wide as you can make it. It's practically 180 degrees of fire arc. Well, then you deserve to have your ship sunk. What is the only thing? The only way that you're going to laterally penetrate this ship is if Tirpitz is in a turn. Now, Tirpitz is very quick, and when she comes hard about, well, she keels over quite a bit. And if you can get a shot through here, you're going to get that Citadel. But this shot is few and far between, so don't speed up to a Tirpitz and hope that it turns and gives you a keeled over side to shoot at. Now, I promise you that Tirpitz is not a troll ship. You know, it is what it is. It's a different ship in the game, and that's actually a good thing, because so far battleships in the game have been armor here, guns there, shoot under the smokestack, get a Citadel, yay, good to go. And it's just, you know, it's not what Tirpitz is. It is the queen of the cruisers, is the way that I've heard, and that's really the case. It's the first battleship in the game that really does actually well at close range. So if you're watching this video today, you probably have another 12 days to buy the Tirpitz. And Tirpitz is announced, I believe, is going to be a rare ship. So once it's sold, it's not coming back. It's going to be like the Type 59, I think, or something like that from World of Tanks. And unfortunately, some ships just have to be like that. So she's just going to be the last ship with torpedoes for a pretty long time. Now, I want to show you what this turtleback looks like in game. I have a photo of it here. There we go. This is what the armor profile of Tirpitz is in game. And you can see this turtleback here. And you can see it runs along basically the entire length of the ship. And that Citadel is really, really low in the waterline. I mean, we're talking a waterline that's about right there. So, I mean, it's just a hard ship to Citadel. So, I hope this video helps. I hope this video maybe helps you decide whether you want to buy the Tirpitz or not, and helps you improve your tactics against Tirpitz. So yes, I promise you, the ship is not bugged. It's working as designed. It's just different. It's designed for the North Atlantic, where engagements are at close range and plunging fire is not the primary concern. So anyway, have a good day, and thank you for watching.